students. So right now what we're going to take a look at is Google Drive. So if at this point you should have completed the first two slides of the online module on Canvas. And so this video will help you just kind of get an idea of what the user interface looks like for Google Drive. So what you're seeing right here is the student account that we have for our class. If you're logged into Google Drive on your own account, it's definitely gonna look different. Okay, don't be thrown off by any differences that you see. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a brief guide with my mouse over here. So just go ahead and follow the mouse cursor. But here we have the new button. So the new button, as we learned in earlier sections of the class, gives you access to a variety of options. So as you can see, this option right here gives you the this folder icon gives you the option to create a new folder within Google Drive. Okay, so if you click on that, you'll be able to create a new folder and organize yourself as if you're on a computer. You could place folders within folders and also name folders, any name that you like. So for example, if you have a folder specifically for this class, you could create a folder that's called the Google Apps class folder, and then store all your items in that folder. Okay, so here you have file upload. A file upload allows you to upload a file. So it's essentially what it says right there. So it could be any file as long as it's on your computer. It could be an image file, movie file, document, a presentation, any type of file that's on your computer you could upload. Okay, and a copy of that file would be stored on your Google Drive so that you could access it later on. Here you have a folder upload, and folder upload allows you to upload an entire folder. So if you have a folder on your computer and it has content in it, you could upload that folder completely and then have access to that folder here on Google Drive. Okay, so once you get past these first three options, it starts getting really interesting. So right here on the very bottom, you have Google Docs, and so if you want to create a new Google Docs, you could click on this and it'll create a new doc for you. To the right, you're going to see that there's a little arrow, and if you hover your mouse over that arrow, it allows you to take a look at different options. So you have the option to create a blank document or create a document from a template. Okay, so later on when we cover our Google Docs lesson, you'll get to play around more with that. Okay, so we're going to keep on going down and we're going to take a look at Google Sheets, and you're going to see that it has similar options. So if you hover your mouse over that arrow, it allows you to create a blank spreadsheet or a spreadsheet from a template. Okay. Similarly with Google Slides, you get the option to create a blank presentation or a presentation from a template. Okay, so once you get past these three, which are your primary applications here on Google Drive, you click on More, and More gives you options to many more types of files on Google Drive. Okay, so Google Forms allows you to create surveys. Okay, Google Drawings allows you to draw on a document and within a document in Google. Okay, so you could create flowcharts, you could create drawings. It's a little like MS Paint, but it has its own features which are very important. We'll get to cover that later on in the class. We also have Google My Maps, which allows you to create interactive maps. Essentially, that allows you to create a map that you could add notes to, you could drop pins on, and you could draw on. So it has its own nice features. Okay. Google Sites allows you to create a free website for yourself. The free website could be designed to include a variety of contents. Some of these contents include creating a website for, let's say, a club, or let's say a business, like a social club or a business. So we'll get to cover that more when we review it. Okay, so Google App Scripts allows you to do some scripting, which if you do more of the advanced features when you're scripting on the computer, it gives you the option to do that. And then finally, Google Jamboard, which allows you to create notes. It's very similar to the OneNote feature on Microsoft. Okay, so you're going to notice that down here you have connect more apps, and so there's many more apps that you could have access to. So if you click on this, it opens up a bit of a marketplace, and the marketplace has a variety of other features that you could also incorporate into Drive. Okay, so but that'll require you to do a separate amount of research and to see how each one kind of works, what type of features each one has. But there are some very useful applications here that you could incorporate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Okay, so that essentially covers the new button. So very useful. If you ever want to create a new folder or want to do an action on Drive, you could just remember that you want to start with the new folder. Okay, so it's a very nice collection of different options here on Google Drive. Okay, let's take a look at this folder pane here, which is very useful. Okay, so here under your folder pane, you're going to see My Drive, Shared with Me, Recents, Starred, and also Trash. Okay, so My Drive is going to be the location where all your items are stored. Okay, so if you store something to your Google Drive, it's going to be located here within My Drive. Okay, so if you ever want to find something, you go to this location. Shared with Me is going to include a variety of documents and folders that have been shared with you by other students or by other people that are using Drive. Okay, so if you haven't shared anything with anyone on Drive, this is probably going to be empty. But here, as you can see, I have 2 items that have been shared before with other people, and so you see 2 items appear. Okay, so as you share more items on your Google Drive, you'll be able to see the central location of the website populated with items. Okay, under here, under Recents, you're going to see the recent items that you worked on. Okay, so this is a good place to keep track of all the items that you have recently worked on, and it's a good place for you to refer back to an item. Okay, so Recents are located here. And finally, Starred, we have starred items here. So starred items are essentially items that are your favorites, and so you like to refer back to them. You could apply a star by right-clicking on an item. As you can see, when you right-click on an item within your Google Drive, you get this special context menu. Okay, so the context menu allows you to either remove or add a star. Okay, so star essentially just means that it's one of your favorite documents. This could be a document that you like to refer to. It can also be a document that you really value. So you could apply a star, and by applying a star, if you click on this, it'll filter out all the unstarred items and give you just your starred items, which essentially are your favorite items. Okay, and then finally over here under Trash, we have items that we have deleted before. Okay, so these items will stay within the trash until they're deleted permanently, but as you can see, they'll just stay here. And if you're running out of space within your Google Drive, you could permanently delete them from here, and that'll give you more storage. Okay, so that essentially is a brief overview of your folder panes. Okay, so down here under the folder pane, you have a little item that's called storage, and storage is going to give you a brief description of how much storage you'd use. Okay, so right here, as you can see, we have a little bar. It might appear very faint on your screen, but the bar is there, and as you can see, as you use more space, a little blue indicator will indicate how much space you've used up. So generally with Google Drive, you get 15 gigabytes free of storage, and that's a significant amount of free storage. And so that should hold you over if you're a casual user of online storage. If you run out of storage, and as you get closer to that 5 gigabyte limit, you'll start getting notifications saying that you're running out of space. And so at that point, you could delete files and get more space that way. Or if you want to keep all your files and you don't want to delete them, you could just buy more storage. And so there's going to be this little link on the very bottom called Buy Storage. And so let's go ahead and click on that just to explore it. And as you can see, it gives you a variety of options. Okay, so these options may change as Google changes their programs and applications. But as you can see, you get the 15 gigabyte free, and that's your current plan. If you go 100 gigabytes, that's $199 a month, and that gives you a package that includes 100 gigabyte storage, access to Google Experts, options to add to your family, and extra membership benefits. As you move up to 200 gigabytes, you get a $299 per month plan, and that comes with additional services. And then finally, you get a 2 terabyte plan, which is $9.99 a month, with the variety of this package of services. And so usually 2 terabytes, the way that storage goes right now, it's a significant amount of storage. Usually the casual user of online storage doesn't require that much storage, but if you're doing a lot of storage of high quality photos or videos, or if you just have a lot of documents, you may need more than 15 gigabytes. I'm not sure if 2 terabytes would be sufficient for you, but you could just make your decision. And so the good thing is that you do have options if you run out of space. Okay, so that's your storage indicator right here on the very bottom. Okay, so I'm going to click on My Drive to go back. Okay, so right here on the very top, you have Quick Access, which gives you a thumbnail view of the latest documents that you have worked with. Okay, so very self-explanatory. So you have this view, and you could refer back to this document by just clicking on these items that appear here. Okay. Further down, you see that you have this area which is dedicated to the contents that are within your drive. Okay, so right now we currently see that this drive includes a thumbnail, and so it gives you a nice view of an image. So all these dog pictures are just photo or picture files, and so that's this view layout allows you to preview that. If you don't enjoy this view, and if you want more details about each different file, you could click on this list view option, this little icon that's on the upper right. If you click on that, it changes your view to this view. Okay, so as you can see, not so many images, but you do get the file name, and you also get a little icon which indicates what type of file it is. You get a owner column that indicates who's the owner, the last modified, and file size. So sometimes when you're navigating through your drive, this might be a more useful view. If you are looking for image and you prefer the tile view, or in this case the grid view, you could click on that, and you get the grid view, which gives you that large thumbnail view that is very helpful. Okay, so you could always toggle the different views by clicking on this button. Okay, so that's a really good way that you can make navigating your My Drive very useful. Okay, so if you click on a search drive right here, it gives you a search box that you could search your drive. Okay, so this is very helpful when you're looking for something on your drive and you just can't seem to find it. Okay, so you could just type in a title here. Okay, so as you can see, as you type in a search here, you're going to get suggestions, and you could click on these and it'll take you to that document. So very useful if you ever need to search for anything, you could use this search box. So you don't necessarily have to worry about losing documents. You have the search drive. Aside from searching your drive, it's also advisable that you create a good folder format or folder structure where you have folders that are descriptive and they tell you what's within each folder. So for example, a folder that has all your class information, a folder that has all your pictures, and having these folders organized in a systematic way will help you keep track of your items. But if you don't have that, you don't have to worry. You still have this search drive, which allows you to access and to search through your contents pretty easily. Okay, so aside from these, so this is pretty much the nuts and bolts of Google Drive. There's also another feature here called settings, and when you have settings, you have a variety of options that you could use to configure your drive. As you can see, you have a description of your storage usage, convert uploads. This is an ability to convert uploads to Google Docs editor format. So for example, that means that if you upload a Google Microsoft Word document, it'll change it to Google Docs, things of that sort. Okay, so that does require a conversion process, and this option allows that conversion process to happen automatically without having you ask Drive to do it for you. Okay, here you have the language, so you could adjust the language settings. Offline allows you to create, open, and edit your recent Google Docs from the offline status. Okay, so density, this allows you to change the way that your density of information is. So that essentially just means whether you want to have a very condensed user interface or more comfortable. So generally it's set to comfortable, so that's, you don't really have to change much for that. Okay, and here you have an option of whether you want a Google Drive to make suggestions for you. Okay, so you could toggle that off and on. Down here you have notifications, and notifications allow you to get notifications every time a Google document is uploaded or whenever it's available. And here you have a variety of manage apps. These are all apps that have been connected to Drive. So as you start using more applications, you may have more apps that have access to Drive. So you at this point you usually don't have to do much with settings, but it's always good to know that it's there if you ever need it in the future, and you can access it that way. Okay, so that in essence is a brief overview of Google Drive and the user interface. And so later on in the class we're going to learn how to interact with different documents on Google Drive, and how to duplicate and how to copy and delete different files. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day.